Okie dokie. Mono White Initiative is a deck that you can legally register in the Vintage format. You've got some powerful artifacts and a Trinisphere, and that's the redeeming qualities of the deck. After that, you've got some fast mana and some aggressive white creatures, mainly the initiative threats of Seasoned Dungeoneer and White Plume Adventurer. They're the main clock part of the deck. You've also got some prison elements in Archon of Emeria, which really locks down quite a lot of the format. Dauntless Dismantler, a new card from a set that recently got released. But it's a 2-mana 1/4, so not the most aggressive. But artifacts your opponent's control enter the battlefield tapped. So if you can turn one this, all their mocks are tapped. It's also got a white and 2 X's to destroy each artifact with mana value X or less. Oh no, mana value X. Not even or less. Okay, this card's weaker than I thought it was, but it still kills me. Then we've got Chancellor of the Annex, which just gets in the way of an opponent's early play, and it looks really good underneath the Chrome Mox. Emeria's Call is another fake land that can also be a spell and can also sit underneath the Chrome Mox. And then Anointed Peacekeeper. I'm unsure if I'm supposed to be playing this one, but I am. And this one again, another sort of prison element, but nicely it's a human or cleric for the Seasoned Dungeoneer. And over here we've got 3 Thalia Garden of Thraben with some sort of bugged artwork. Post board we've got an additional Solitude, an Archon of Absolution, which is allegedly good against Bazaar decks because it stops them from killing you quite so soon, and then they draw a Fury and kill you after that. We've got Lauren of the Third Path for, I imagine, Shops decks, and then Containment Priest will come in against our Oath of Druids opponents, and Dredge opponents and Bazaar opponents, that sort of thing. Plow kills creatures, Mindbreak Trap versus combo. Pretty obvious, pretty simple. Let's go make some questionable plays, and I'll see you in round 1. Okay, round 1 with Mono White Initiative. We're up against Matthias Hardstyle, who I played about 20 minutes ago, and I've already forgotten what they're on. So, going in blind, I don't think I can keep this hand right. So, land go, Moxland Emeria, Moxland Archon. Just seems really bad, right? They wasteland us and we lose. So I think we ship this. I think one of the things with Mono White is you're supposed to mulligan to something playable. So let's do that. This also looks like a train wreck. Right. Redeeming qualities of this hand is we've got Reveal a Chancellor, Pitch a Solitude, so we don't die quickly. Play a tap land, play a Dauntless. It's just so bad. Let's go down to this 5. Here we go. This is some nonsense. So if I keep Mox Ancient Tomb, Chancellor, Anointed Peacekeeper, this is 5, right? So I'm going to press keep, and I can put back Emerald Petal. Say done. Reveal a Chancellor of the Annex. And say okay. And now we've got turn 1 Trinisphere, turn 2 Peacekeeper, or get wasted from under our Trinisphere and lose. Which are both great options. So Mox Pearl comes in. We are exceptionally cold to a Lavinia here. Good grief. Oh no. I'm so bad at this game, man. It's unbelievable sometimes. Right, yeah. So they pay 1 for their Chancellor. I don't know if that makes Trinisphere any good, really. What does this card do? Unless they're mana abilities. So I'm going to cast Chrome Mox. And I'm going to exile my Chancellor of the Annex. Now I'll go Ancient Tomb. I will play the Ruby. There's no chance they've got main deck trap. And then I think I just Trinisphere. And we'll pass the turn to them. And they've let the Trinisphere through, which could mean like that they've just got a wasteland for me. They've got an Urza's Saga. Let's read this again. Spreading Seas, my Ancient Tomb. So that doesn't actually do anything, seeing as I drew that Ruby. So let's just cast this. And I think I can name Urza's Saga with it, right? Manifold Key, Spell Pierce, Plow. So they're just going to plow it if I name Saga. What does that do? That eats a whole turn. So they only got 1 token. And then they get something else out of it. They have revealed a Lurrus. Yeah, I mean, I think I just named Saga. I'm not feeling great about this match right now. So it's over to the opponent. Their Saga triggers. And they can just like hold up Force of Will and plow me on end step. So it looks like I'm just mulliganing a bit too low into not enough action. Not action, but aggressive creatures. There you go. Things that do things. Trinisphere, not good against turn 1 Mox. And also not good against the Lorien revealed that we know they've got as well. So it looks just be a white blue Lurrus deck with Vault Key. They're going to cycle Lorien revealed, get themselves a Tundra. Oh, an Underground Sea. Okay, so they're not just white blue. They've got other colours as well. Becomes our turn. It's a white blue Adventurer. So let's go to combat. And attack them. Okay. So they didn't have any... Oh, so cool. So they can force me if they want to. That makes so much sense. But then that plow's getting a bit harder to cast. So if they Force of Will me, their Saga goes away. And they don't get anywhere with it. They are casting the Force of Will. So that might be good, might be bad. But now their Saga dies and they don't get a token. So they might just plow my dude. They might buy Lurrus. Imagine just Soul Ring right when you're doing Trinisphere is good. Yeah, they agree. I managed to find a correct play in the vintage format. So that's quite cool. They buy Lurrus with their floating mana. And then they can Wasteland me and plow me if they want to. So Force of Will, I imagine, pick Spell Pierce. Yep, so this is gone. This is gone. This is gone. This is gone. This is in play. Can I just trade with Lurrus? Is that really bad? Maybe. And now we'll pass the turn. They didn't trade. I'm going to hold Wasteland for Saga, I think. I've got 2 Wastelands. Good on them. So they tapped some mana there and then came back off of it. Okay, casting spells is not the easiest sometimes. It's such a Manifold Key, so they just top deck the Time Vault. No. It's played the key. Lurrus gets in. And they're paying costs. Okay, so they're attacking and then ploughing. Sure. So upkeep, they passed to us. I'm going to play a Dauntless Dismantler, which will at least fog them a little bit. So we don't know their final card. Can't justifiably kill the 0s. Can justifiably kill the 1s. They can't use the bauble this turn, which is kind of cool for us. And Manifold Key makes Lurrus unblockable. Okay. Cavern of Souls. I don't need to feed the Wasteland, really. Sisters sacrifice itself to do that. So that's not very good. So let's just pass. We could do with some pressure. I think both the lands I've drawn post them having wasteland would have been are ones we don't want to feed the wasteland with. Like, I'd happily feed it with an Emeria. I wouldn't happily feed the cavern or a wasteland because these both have text later in the game. If we get much later in the game, our opponent's got too much mana under them, but we've just not been able to establish a mana base underneath this Trinisphere. So Mishra's Bauble comes on back. They're going to get a card in my upkeep. And like, if they plough my Dismantler, I will blow up the ones. So Lurrus gets in for another 3. They go to 22 and I go down to 12. I should have attacked, really. Is this tap to sacrifice? No. So I should have attacked. That was just silly. So they draw a card. They're up to 3 now. They can't counter anything this turn. And we can't draw anything this turn. So that's cool as well. Let's just wasteland their Tundra. And then we can debate how that was wrong. And then we'll attack for 3. We'll attack for 1. I know what these cards do. And I know how they work together. So at some point I might need to... cracking and Dismantle just doesn't do anything in the face of Lurrus, right? I need to Solitude Lurrus first. The opponent has 4 cards. So it doesn't look good for us. They can start off by cracking their Bauble to see what I'm drawing. It was good that I negligently just played my Strip Mine without thinking about it, because they knew about the Strip Mine. Yeah. So they take a look at what we're drawing as they develop a perfectly sculpted game plan. So, Demonic Tutor. Okay. So they can't get Time Vault here, right? I got Urza's Saga. Okay, that's fine. Well, they've played an Urza's Saga now. Now they're paying costs. And they replay their Bauble from the graveyard. So I think... So I think I like cracking now, because I need to draw something good. And I'll get rid of their Soul Ring and their Manifold Key doing this. They get themselves a card. I'd like to draw a threat. That was not the most threatening of threats. So we'll wasteland their Urza's Saga. And that makes it so playing Time Vault next turn is their whole turn, and then they have to play Key, or play Key, and then they play Time Vault, and blah blah blah. But they have got 5 cards in hand. We're very far behind. They knew about the planes, they know about what we're getting next turn. We can't cast a Solitude at the moment, so I think that might just make it so that this game's already over. But they cast a Treasure Cruise, and then they're just using Wasteland to operate much better under this Trinisphere, rather than wasting my Ancient Tombs to try and bury me. And they get Lorien. And a Tundra. Cool. So next turn when they make a land drop, they'll win with Time Vault. Although Time Vault's just, yeah, this game's exceptionally lost. So let's go and have a look at our sideboard and see if there's anything we can do. I quite like the idea of Plough, just spitballing here. I don't hate the idea of Loran, if this is what we're doing with our life. Like Vault Key stuff. The Trinispheres seem hopeless in a Lorien Revealed metagame in my sample of exactly one game against one deck. Containment Priest clearly bad, Mindbreak Trap bad, Solitude I don't think I want too many of that effect. Like I don't even know if I want all these plows. Anointed Peacekeeper seems worse than Loran against against Urza's Saga. Thalia, Garden of Thraben seems like a card that I can certainly have in my deck. So I'm going to submit this. And as with all these videos when I'm playing decks that I don't usually play, I'm happy for my sideboarding to be wrong. It's fine. I've not looked it up. I've not looked up my opponent. You know, it's just, if I know what they play or I know what they've been playing recently, then that's cool. But otherwise, it's just as I vibe. So what do we want to do here? Planes go. I'm going to Chrome Mox and I'm going to bottom this Swords to Plowshares. Now I'm going to cast a Jet and an Emerald. Play a Plains and cast a Seasoned Dungeoneer. They Force of Will it. Oh my gosh, it got through. That's kind of cool. So we get a basic Plains if we have any more. We've got one more, perfect. So over to the opponent, completely uninterrupted by us as well. They didn't keep a Force of Will, Mindbreak Trap, and Force of Negation hand. I wonder what they can have then. Truly, I do, because... Okay, so they've got something good. Here we are. Lotus, Emerald, Delta, Bauble. Island, cast Lorien. Well, that. Emerald, cool. It's like playing its PO. So they cannot... I'm just going to Forge. They cannot plough me at the moment. They played a round Wasteland. I'm going to go to combat and find out what... I'm getting White Plume Adventurer. No, I won't put that in the graveyard actually. I'll keep that on top, I think. So that's just going to push us through the dungeon a bit faster. Opponent takes 6, goes to 13. And I'm going to tap my 3 Moxen to cast Loran of the Third Path and bink their Jet. Dink. Okay. They float 1 and cycle a Lorien Revealed. This reveals a Tundra, I imagine. There we are. Tundrad. And I'm going to play a Wasteland so that they can't play an Urza's Saga. And they know the card in my hand. They know the card on the top of my deck. We're going to 5 them in our upkeep. Seems tough. Cool. Yeah, I don't know what makes them play Saga there over Tundra. Like, yeah, It seems really difficult for that to be the line. Yeah, I feel like I like where we're at. Peacekeeper on Bauble sounds pointless. I don't think they've got any other activated abilities that I particularly care about. The Solitude Plough split I kind of like. Solitude's kind of tough in this deck, right? Because half your deck is colourless. And then, like, obviously we've got enough white cards. But like, you've got no card velocity and no card flow. So your card advantage comes from your 12 zeros, basically. So, and like the few prison elements, like just getting in underneath your opponent. So Solitude's quite a tough sell when it comes to having enough cards to play. Okay, game 3 against Matthias Hardstyle. I feel like this looks keepable. I'll keep this and I'll show them my chance of the Annex. And it's over to them. Let's hope they've not got the most insane start. No. Pay for their Sapphire. So, next question. Turn 1 Archon, turn 1 chance of the Annex. Which one do we go for? I think with that draw, it interests me more in the Archon of Emeria. So I do need to punt everything into play. Because the Archon will stop me otherwise. So let's play this. Play this. No ideas about sequencing. Play a Lotus. Cast an Archon of Emeria. So that gets through. That's like our plow bait. And then next turn we can cast Emeria's Call. Opponent back up to 6 cards after their draw step. They play a tapped Underground Sea. And a Dauntless Dismantler, which they cannot activate. Which is probably good for me in this spot. Well, what's better, Chancellor or Emeria's Call? I guess it's better just to play Chancellor, right? Let's get in for 2. I create 2 Angels. But they're going to nuke my board. Five, 6 Flying Angel versus 2, 4 Angels. Yeah, no, I think I've got to cast this one just because if they nuke my board, then I'll be pleased that I have a land. And I'm just going to play the land. Because now I've got Solitude open. So, opponent's turn. I don't think they've only got 1 white mana. I don't think they play basic planes to get into white mana again this turn. So they've got to choose between plow one of my creatures or activate the Dismantler, right? Over the next couple of turns, they can certainly crawl back into this game. We need to draw basically an initiative threat to get back into it. Once we've drawn a land, obviously. But if they don't have answers to our creatures, they're very far behind. But it looks like they're just going to go after the mana and crawl back later. Yeah, that makes sense. That makes sense. Cavern of Souls. I guess I can hold that and get in for 7. So I'm getting Wastelanded next turn anyway. I'd rather have a lot more information before I start committing Cavern of Souls. The advantage to the other idea is it. So let's say my opponent plays a Wasteland this turn tapped. I might play Cavern of Souls and name a creature type to try and get them to Wasteland it. So they probe me, they find out about the Cavern. They pay the 1 and that's their whole turn. So they've probably got Plough for our turn. Underground Sea tapped. So opponent isn't interested in wastelanding whilst their mana's under duress. So let's go to combat and crunch in here. So this is going to name human. This will make a blue mana. And we'll cast this guy. Cannot be countered. Opponent casts Brainstorm into the Chancellor. And this has got to be one hell of a balance that they have here. The balance will just reset the game in the most insane way. But I don't even think they play balance. I think I've been playing too much cube. So we've got a match win there against Lurrus. A rarity for me. So let's go on to game 2. Okay, round 2 against Lanubi. We're playing mono white. Cool. This hand seems shit as well. I'm going to mulligan. I don't know how aggressively I'm supposed to go for the Moxen, but I'm going to go aggressively. So what does this do? This does absolutely nothing. Quick check for face down land. No, it continues to do nothing. So we'll go to 5. And we've got something here. Holy hell, this is painful. So how do you play this game? You keep Chancellor, Archon, Chrome Mox, Sapphire, Dauntless Dismantler, putting back Chancellor, Chrome Mox. Turn 1 Dauntless Dismantler, turn 2 Archon of Emeria. So that's good. So I'm definitely going to get a 1-4, which is typically enough to win a match of Vintage. So Chrome Mock comes in. We exile the Chancellor of the Annex. We cast a Mox Sapphire. And we just roll out the Dismantler. And then we draw a land to get Archon into play. Because on 5 I can't get to the requisite mana to cast Archon there. So we'll have to do it this way instead. Opponent has a Bazaar of Baghdad, against which my Dauntless Dismantler is complete air. If we see Squeeze here, it's real bad because they can find a Vigor. Ugh, gross. If they Vigor us, we can concede so quickly and it'd be glorious. No, never lucky. Okay, we'll get in for our 1 point of damage. Ciao. Opponent's going to pick up their Squee, and some stuff's going to happen. Hang on. I think I copied a list without Tabernacles, didn't I? Yeah. Gross. Because Tabernacle's the only card I ever feel like mono white has to really pressure us, or really make our life difficult. It's the lands that do well. Containment Priest doesn't really do anything against Squee. Archon of Absolution as well is always a bit slow and bad. So I think the list I've listed is just lifted is just a bit weak to Bazaar. They haven't got the Vigor. Okay, cool. So let's name Archon. Ding dong. And let's cast Archon. Yeah. So a bit slow to get there. 2 attempts. Wasteland my Cavern of Souls. Nobody cares. Why is there a Basking Roller in the graveyard? How did that get there and not in here? My confusion is grand. Vigoured my land now. So we wanted to do that earlier. But never mind. Upkeep, they pick up a card. They get a squee back. So we're very far behind. But they didn't put in a Basking Rootwaller, and they didn't figure my lands on upkeep. So we've got two... we've had two like little gifts. But obviously 5 cards and a squee is not good for us. Main deck Fury and their whole day is completely unlocked. Second Bazaar of Baghdad. Well, I've got a first Mox Pearl. Tell me who's really winning. Let's attack. They get squee back. And a Bazaar activation at the very least, maybe 2, depending on how aggro they want to go. But it's hard to activate twice into an Archon. So just 1 squee and a Bazaar of Baghdad. And a Wasteland go back down. They do activate the second one. So they're just digging for Fury or whatever their main deck kill condition is. Or kill spell is. They just got Mindbreak Trap and they play a Basking Rootwaller. Mindbreak Trap, Force of Will. Cool, cool, cool. So they get in for 1 point. We've got a Solitude now. That's quite cool. So that's like an answer for whatever their first real card is. We'll attack for 3. Why is it doing this to me? There we go. Oh yeah, I played a Dredge League yesterday. So your opponent picks up a squee. And activates a Bazaar of Baghdad. So they are churning. We've got to fade like 6 more turns of this crap. Depends on whose list they're using or what list they're using as to whether they've got like a good main deck answer to an Archon of Emeria. Because it could be that the Archon's just completely blanked the Vengevines for the whole game sort of thing. Like my last few lists haven't had Fury in the main deck. It's had 4 Furies in the board. And there's no snapback there either. So let's attack first. Opponent goes to 9 unless they've got main deck Pyro K. Cool. And then I'll just waste one of the Bazaars. There's no reason not to. We'll go for the untapped one just in case it makes their life awkward. But it might just mean that they flash in a Lizard. No, they just let it go. So they like their hand where their hand is. They're going to get back a squee and a Master of Death this turn. I've got the first hollow one checked at the moment if I start to lose. But I think the life points are more important to us at the moment. They did discard Bazaar of Baghdad early as well. So they've only got 1 left if we can find a second Wasteland. Oh no, they've discarded 2 across the game. So the Bazaar in play is their last Bazaar. Squee Squee Master gets discarded. And the opponent comes in for 2. We're going to go to 15. And no hollow one once again. So they're struggling to find hollow ones, which is a blessing. We found a Seasoned Dungeoneer, which is not a blessing. Ding ding. So in for 3, opponent to 5. They'll pick up a squee and go down to 4. And at some point they have to press no on that. But they've still got 2 red squees going, right? So they're still absolutely cruising. I'd still put them as the favourite to convert this. Depending on main deck interaction, actually. That's the big depending. So They left the Master at home. They only picked up the Squeeze this turn. But like 11 cards, you know. Vengevine, or Vengevine Squeeze gets discarded. And so far no Hollow On, but they do have a post-combat main phase. And no attacks with the lizards. Opponent pauses on second main phase. And passes the turn. So we're golden there. They're going to go to clean up and discard another Master of Death. It's a Chrome Mox. I can't imagine Chrome Mox is doing much for us. Like, it just gets Vigored, right? I guess I should still play it, because then if it doesn't get Vigored, then I can Ancient Tomb into a Seasoned Dungeoneer. So Chrome Mox, and I'll exile the Chancellor. Okay, I won't exile the Chancellor. Nope. That's fine. Like, that just doesn't matter. Like, I don't think we're really casting any more spells this game anyway. Except maybe this Solitude, but even then they need to remove the Archon before a Hollow On becomes a problem. So the Archon could just be the whole game. And they've conceded. That's cool. So we'll go to sideboarding. So mono white players like Archon of Absolution against us. They also like Containment Priest, although I never see it. And then I think they bring in some number of plows occasionally as well. So let's say that this is what people bring in. Trinisphere ends the game on the spot. Dauntless Dismantler is unplayably bad. The prison pieces are all this is about. So that's 4 cuts to go. So do I just cut 4 initiative threats? I want all my mana. That I think is a fact. Because these decks, this matchup can get kind of wastelandy. So I think I want all the mana. So that's all of these cards that I keep. All the prison cards, which is only 12. So these aren't really prison cards either, are they? These are just like Fogs and a Grizzly Bear. Do I even want the Containment Priest? I mean, this is like part of why it's here, but man, I just feel like Loran's better, right? Kills a Hollow One. Chance of the Annex is really good as well, because that can really screw them up if they don't have a Noxious Revival. Four cuts from this nonsense. I'm just going to cut the 4 more expensive. I'm going to cut 1 Adventurer, 2 Dungeoneers, and a Solitude. That's what I'm going to do. The reason I've split it is that Dungeoneer is actually like a really good way to get through a board stall. What do we think of this? Chance of the Annex into Wasteland into never cast a spell. I think Wasteland is good, but I think I need to do better than that. So, yeah, here we got Wasteland U, cast a White Plume Adventurer. So I'll keep this. And I'll bottom the Ancient Tomb. So opponent has got 1 turn here. And they've mulliganed to 5 so far, maybe lower. So down to 4. And show game log. There's 4 cards on the bottom, and we can see them with 3 cards in hand. Cool. So our Wasteland is going to be cracked, depending on what this opener is. Because obviously they can just dump power, and that's good. Squeeze powder. Oh, this is exceptionally fucked up. Wasteland you. Cast a Mox Pearl. Cast a Mana Crypt. Play a White Plume Adventurer. The reason I'm going White Plume here is it's just more impactful. So it hits the board, I can't lose the initiative. So they get 2 squeeze back to their hand, they can Fury it, they've exiled a Pyro K already, so they're not on one of my lists. So maybe they did have game 1 interaction, because most people have 1 main deck Fury. They're on 4 cards, 2 squeeze. There's a Fury, so 2 cards, 1 squeeze. So in response to the initiative trigger, we can flash in this boy and flip our Mana Crypt. Lost the flip. And take ourselves into the Forge. Okay. I've got a 4/4. And a Trinisphere. So that's game over now. That's just... there's nothing you can do against that. Noxious Revival your Bazaar Baghdad. Sure, man. It's just such a long road home for them from this spot. And my clock's so much faster than my Mana Crypt. So, trap you. The initiative got too many clicks, man. Just not enough time for that sort of thing. Let's just play a Mana Crypt. Not a Mana Crypt, an Archon of Emeria. Cavern of Souls. Name Cleric, I guess. I don't know. So it is at a minimum 4 turns until our opponent can Vigor our Trinisphere and play the game. So this is peak garbage time. No, they found the line. That's the match. So I'll see you for round 3 soon. Okay, round 3, we're up against Greenash. I won the die roll, which is good for mono white. And we have got a crackingly poor opening hand. So that's mulligan. And we'll keep this here. Yes. Turn 1 Thraben or turn 1 a Peacekeeper? Can Peacekeeper name lands? Yeah, it can. It names Bazaar all day, every day. So yeah, so I should, on the play, I should Peacekeeper their fetch land, right? But their fetch land's called Lorien Revealed, so I can't even do that. I'll keep this. And I've got to bottom one of my castable spells. And I think I just bottom Thalia. I'm going to turn 1 Peacekeeper. Turn 2, I'm going to top deck Chrome Mox. So this Peacekeeper can't get Force of Willed, which is kind of cool for the home team. We're supposed to sequence this all the other way, but so Force of Will runs headfirst into the Chancellor trigger. Okay, and now... Oh, and now they Force of Will me again, so they're on 2 cards. Cool, bro. Is that good? I don't like that. So I shouldn't have played my planes, because that's what made them go... Oh no, hang on, they already knew. Wasteland doesn't kill planes. Wrecked. And now we lose slowly to Lorien revealed off of Wasteland. Oh no, Lorien. Nice. Nice, nice, nice. They've got the second land though, and it was a fetch land. I feel robbed. The old 4-for-1 has kept me out of the game. So maybe it is good. Discard your hands and fight the Moxen. Cool stuff. Caracas. Scalding targets Tundra. Opponent plays Lavinia. So I need a land. Cavern of Souls. Pretty good for the home team. We'll name Cleric. And we'll play White Plume Adventurer. And the reason I'm playing White Plume is because that gets me into the planes. Assuming that my Cavern doesn't untap. Assuming that I don't untap Cavern. So it goes to the opponent, my White Plume untaps. They can plow it and take the initiative, but I have another initiative. I don't have another initiative. I do, I've got a Dungeoneer, but you know what I mean. So opponent's paying costs, we get plowed. They've got 1 card in hand. They attack for 2 to get the initiative off of us. They get a basic island, which they can play. And Trinisphere. So I'm going to play an Anointed Peacekeeper. They've got a Wasteland. I'll name Wasteland. Will I name Wasteland, or should I name Caracas or Bauble or some shit? Can I name Lurrus? Don't think I'm allowed to name Lurrus. So I just need to top deck a land next turn is all this comes down to. Wasteland doesn't hit any of the lands I've got at the moment. Caracas or Wasteland? I guess just Caracas. Cool. Over to the opponent then. Because now, if they do anything on their turn, then Solitude's a good out. And it gets me out from underneath this Lavinia. Opponent forges onto Lavinia. And I feel like I did have to play Peacekeeper, White Plume on Civic Wayfinder mode. I felt like that was something that had to be done. So that's a Cavern of Souls. So I'll name Human. White and some other stuff. So I get the initiative. I will forge onto the Peacekeeper. And I'll get in for 5 to 6 points of damage. No, I don't want to put White Plume in the graveyard actually. So over to the opponent. The game is once again completely flipped on its head with the passing of the initiative and the top decking of a single land. And it's over to them to come up with something. That something can just be a bunch of plows, but I feel like it needed to be more than what it was. We're going to trap them. So they go to 6. And now we're going to attack with just the Peacekeeper. Because the Dungeoneer gets blocked, the Peacekeeper gets protection from creatures. So show me your plow or the game ends. I draw an Ancient Tomb. And the opponent goes to 0. Nice. So sideboarding against the Lavinia decks. On the draw, I feel like I do need the plows in, because that's going to get rid of a Lavinia. And I think I do like Lorans in my mind. I like them. I like dropping a Solitude. I just think that card's a little bit too loose. And I think the Peacekeepers are poor. And I haven't been impressed with Trinisphere in my one previous match against this deck. I think Trinisphere's day isn't done, but I think it's got a lot weaker in the last year, 2 years or whatever it is, since Kamigawa through to Lord of the Rings, right, where I can now Besage your Trinisphere and I can cycle my spells for lands. Isn't great for Trinisphere's equity in a match, especially right now. I wouldn't be surprised if you're supposed to be off Trinisphere, or at least have Trinisphere post board for your Bazaar matchups or something. I don't know. That's a different conversation from someone who's played exactly 2 matches and 1 game with this deck. So this hand I feel is too slow, but it does have a Chancellor. Chancellor into turn 1. Yeah, this hand looks good, right? Chancellor trigger you. Turn 1, cast Chrome Mox, they 6 for 1 themselves. And then I play Dauntless Dismantler, and then I might be able to curve into an Archon or a Loran. I think we'll give this a shot. This is my Chancellor trigger. Island go. Upkeep, they don't Ancestral themselves. So let's go Chrome Mox. Chrome Mox triggers. Chrome Mox exiles a Chancellor. Let's play Cavern of Souls on human. I really wanted to name Artificer, but I didn't. And let's cast a Dauntless Dismantler. Uncountable Dismantler. Opponent has an island in play, and it's their turn 2. No Moxen from them just yet, but they found one this turn. So they pay the 1 on the Chancellor trigger, put the Jet into play. The Jet comes into play tapped because this card's pretty dope. Tundra, and passes the turn. So I'm going to attack for 1. Yeah, I'm going to attack for 1. And then I think I'm just going to go basic planes and nuke your Mox Jet with my uncountable Loran. So trigger destroys Mox Jet. I've still got a Wasteland for an Urza's Saga. And the Dismantler gets ploughed. opponent's main phase for turn 3. And we've got Lavinia. And an Urza's Saga. Cool. Fine. So Swords to Plowshares seems playable. Let's play Wasteland. Cast Archon. Wasteland your Urza's Saga. And then we'll hit for 2. I don't think we want to be considering the Loran activation whilst we're ahead. Or what I feel like is ahead. Vintage cards are too good to be spewing things out there for them, you know. The opponent's got a tapped Wasteland this turn. They've got 1 spell, and they can choose to use that spell however they wish. They appear to wish not to use that spell. So that's gravy. Over to us. There's a chance of the annex. That's pretty bad. So let's attack with both. If the opponent blocks, that probably just means they've got another Lavinia. Oh, they've got a March of Otherworldly Light, targeting my Archon of Emeria. Okay then. You got it. And they take 2. So we'll play a tapped land and pass the turn. So 2 cards plays 2 cards, 2/2 plays 2/1. I feel like we're behind here. They've got their cards are just much better to top deck, right? Mine do like flip the game in whatever way. I might actually activate now. After saying vintage cards are powerful, I feel like I'm far enough behind that I want more cards. Like I can't go wasting 4 mana a turn, right? Opponent thinking in response to the activation. And we do draw a White Plume, which is not a human. I go to combat. Attack for 2. And I'm going to play a White Plume Adventurer. I probably should have tapped the Cavern so it looks like I could have something. And I should have definitely tapped the Cavern seeing as I've got a plough in hand. So we gain the initiative. Opponent's got 3 cards. I will now have my plough open undeservedly. And then we'll pass the turn here. Next turn we'll have a 5/6 Flying Angel. Opponent's got Snapcaster Mage to plough one of my guys. Okay. So plough's fine. We'll let them tap their land. And now I'll plough your Lavinia. They go to 15. 1 creature plays 1 creature. If they've got another Lavinia, then we have to wait longer on this Chancellor. But if they haven't got another Lavinia, we've got a Lotus. Path my guy. Brutal. So we're going to lose the initiative. Yeah, I'll give it a shuffle. We've got both of our planes already, which is a bit upsetting. So we lose the initiative. They don't get another basic, though. Chapter 2, they get to put counters on Snapcaster or what have you. I think Wasteland's like a top-notch draw for us here. If we can get one. Well, definitely now. They Wasteland my Cavern. I draw a Seasoned Dungeoneer. I guess just getting the initiative back is like far, far superior. I should play Lotus first, though, just in case there's some rando days player. So Seasoned Dungeoneer. I'm going to Forge. Forge is just the most insane clock. So there's that. And now if opponent wants to take the initiative back, they have to spend mana to do so, which means they're not making a Saga token. Scalding Tarn. So they could have Plough now. They do not. And we will trap them. They go down to 10. Arcanum of Emeria. So I'm going to attack for 5, possibly 6. I do get the Wasteland. So opponent goes to 5. I'll play Wasteland. I'll Wasteland your Urza Saga. Opponent makes a token. Their land dies. I cast an Angel. Opponent has 1 card. They do get the initiative back, but I've now got 2 lethal threats regardless. And we win the match. Sick. See you for the next round. Okay, so round 4 up against Hollow Earth, which is a weird thing to say. I don't know how a disc can be hollow. And what have we got here? Chancellor Plains go Archon turn 2. That's pretty close to limited. That's pretty close to bad. I kind of like it though. I kind of like it. I'm not going to lie to you. I'm not going to lie to you. I do kind of like it. So I'm going to keep it. You're not here to stop me. Yeah, and I get like a turn 3 Seasoned Dungeoneer. I fail to see how any of this can go wrong. So, yeah. On to the opponent for their mulligan decision. Okay, we get to reveal this card here, which makes your first turn difficult. However, I challenge you to have a worse first turn than this in the Vintage format. You'll go. So, over to the opponent. Their turn 1. Chrome Mox. Bang. Fuck only knows how this mirror works. Wasteland. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Look at that. Ancient Tomb or Strip Mine. I guess strip you. If you've not got any follow-up Moxen. And they've got another wasteland. Okay, so this time I kind of have to commit the Archon, right? Unless I draw another waste. I did not. So yeah, let's just go Archon. They can wasteland me, that's fine. Doesn't look like a position where they can wasteland me, if you know what I mean. Like, you need Solitude and then Lotus, I guess, to be in a position where your wasteland's good. But then they don't know that I'm, you know, not flush for lands, but that I have lands. So they've got a Mox Jet, so that's going to help them out. And a Cavern of Souls. Wow, okay, cool. So they just slow rolled everything, went for waste. Waste into my basic planes is certainly an option. Let's play Caracas. Let's attack first. And they named human. So I'll play this Thalia, which will likely just fuck with me later. And it's over to them. So they're turn 3. Or turn 4, sorry. They're paying some costs, and they have a Dauntless Dismantler, which I cannot counter, and I will not counter. They've got a tapped Wasteland. So now would be a good time for Ancient Tomb. So another Thalia. Okay, so let's just attack for 2, I guess. Don't think I can go around solituding Dauntless Dismantlers when I've got no Moxen. I can only cast one spell a turn anyway, so casting a tapped Mox doesn't really matter. They strip my Caracas. They play a Cavern of Souls. So is this what I'm supposed to do when I'm playing this deck? Is I'm supposed to just play like the most flooded hands of all time and see what happens? I feel like I did that this game, to be honest with you. I'll play a Plains. I'll play an Emerald, which comes in tapped. Opponent did name Elemental last turn. So we've got a tapped Ancient Tomb. Okay, I don't know how I'm supposed to play 6 lands in a row in my 16 land deck. That seems really quite challenging. So let's go to combat. Get in for 2. Play a tap land. And pass. They've got 3 cards in hand, we've got 5. They've named Elemental, so we can presume they've got a Solitude. And they found a tapped Wastelands. They've just found all 4 Wastelands. So I've got an Ancient Tomb. So let's attack for 2. And then we'll play a Seasoned Dungeoneer. So Seasoned Dungeoneer. Tapping all the non-basics. Okay. I get a basic Plains. It's over to the opponent. I feel like I'm really far ahead now, right? Like, we know they're holding Solitude. The only way they can get the initiative this turn is with an initiative threat. If they want to wasteland me for the 4th time this game, then they can be my guests. Yeah, that's absolutely fine. I just got my Plains. Civic Wayfinder, very good in Vintage. Another Dauntless Dismantler, which doesn't really do anything. And a Cavern of Souls naming Elemental, I presume. Cleric. Alright, so maybe they just don't have Solitude and they're just talking nonsense. So I guess I just forge onto the Archon. They're on 10. What does Seasoned Dungeoneer care about? Cleric, Rogue, Warrior, or Wizard? Human Soldier. Sure, whatever. I'll forge onto this guy. I don't think it's great if they Solitude me, but it's fine. We'll slay with the 2 homies that can attack. Crunch, crunch. We get the Explore trigger. I would like to put Chrome Mox into my graveyard. And they lose. So that's nice. So we win game 1. Because we're going to deal 8 points of damage and then trap them with the initiative. And then we'll see how it looks for game 2. Trap, please. So game 2, I like this thing. So this has got pro white, right? Yeah. The most relevant text it's got in the format. And then we've got Lauren of the Third Path to bink on stuff. And I guess this is where we want just the whole removal suite. Thalia is going to be a train wreck on the draw. Archon or 90 Peacekeeper, I imagine, is textless. Trinosphere seems bad. Chancellor on the draw seems like one of our best cards, I think. Dismantler, Archon, Initiative Threats. The Initiative Threats have probably got to stay in just to trade the initiative with each other. Mox Emerald is, as always, unplayably bad in your white deck. So off to game 2. Okie dokie, so what have we got here? 3 lands on the draw. Any fast mana gets me a Archon of Absolution, which has pro white. And I think the strength of Archon of Absolution, or my perceived strength, the strength I perceive it has, my perception of the card, the way I think this card would work in this matchup, I think card strong. Good Archon. Keep hand. Hey, I got a Chancellor. They don't have a Chancellor, which makes me think maybe they took them out and that I'm wrong, but that's the world we live in. So they've got a Mox Emerald. I've got a Chancellor of the Annex. You see? And this is why you brought out Mox Emerald. Okay, I die. So turn 1, they've got White Plume Adventurer. They untap the White Plume. I draw another Chancellor. I'll play a tapped land and pass to the opponent. So I wonder if I am supposed to take Chancellor of the Annex out then. I think on the draw it's fine. So it can just be a bit screwy. Man, this bro just always has wastelands. What's in your hands? It's just 4 wastelands. Just 4 wastelands. What have you got now? It's still 4 wastelands, yeah. I'll play Plains. And I went down the right hand side. It's when you play against other players that you realise you're doing things wrong. Well, I don't think I'm doing things wrong. I don't think I've done too many things wrong. Maybe I've done everything wrong. Who knows? But They get a treasure token. Also, mana generation is probably cute. Yeah, I can see that. If they strip me, I am going to lose my shit though. That is true. That I will tell you for free. So they attack me. I go to 14. They've got nothing. They untap their White Plume. I draw a Seasoned Dungeoneer. I play a Wasteland and a Dauntless Dismantler. It's a 2 mana 1/4. Blocks your 3 mana 3/3. So just get plowed. Nope. So they go to the Catacombs, I think, now. And that's cool. And then they get in the with the White Plume Adventure. Oh, they don't get in with anything. They don't get in with a single thing. They untap stuff. Land, please. Thank you. And it works as well. Busted. So Mox Sapphire, White Plume Adventurer. I've got this Solitude to try and keep the board down. I've got the initiative so that they don't have the initiative. Obviously, the moment they hit me, we're in trouble. Or the moment they resolve another initiative threat, we're in deep trouble very quickly. But for now, that's all gravy. We've got 2 Chancellors for pitching, and we will be pitching 1 onto this Menace creature soon, and the next turn I get to resolve an Archon of Absolution, and that should do a lot of work on just locking the board up. Obviously, it depends on what they come with here. They attack with both creatures. And do you have an effect? They've got a Solitude, pitching an Archon of Emeria. Solitude is exiling my Dauntless Dismantler, which I will not sacrifice. I'll just take my life point. Do you have a Plow as well? No. So I'll block here. Confirm the blocks. And now they're solituding again once I've blocked. So bit of a misstep from our opponent here. That's fine. So I can just bink their skeleton token. And yield through here. So now my creature's dead, their creature's dead. I've got the initiative, crucially. They untap, that's fine. Lost well for me, please. What do I think about those 2 cards? I think the Dismantler is useless. The Archon of Emeria, I think I'm happy to bottom as well. Yes. I'll take my draw step. I'll draw an Archon of Emeria. And I'll tap 4 lands and play an Archon of Absolution. So, that's pro-white. And this is the... Yeah, this is an interesting attack, is what I was going to say. We win the match. We've got finals to play with Mono White Initiative. Okay. Game 5, match 5, match 5 is what we say in the business. I've got a chance of the annex. I've kept this hand apparently. What have I got? Solitude, turn 1 initiative. Cool. I didn't realise I'd clicked keep. But hey ho. It seems keepable. Rude Slay keeps 7 as well. No Lurus revealed. Show me what you're working with. Like, please. It's 20 past midnight. We're only here because it's a trophy match. I would have gone to bed otherwise. My opponent has led on basic swamp. Mock Sapphire. Alright, I'm going to be honest. I've got no idea what basic swamp means when it's at home. Okay, so over to me, my turn 1. We draw an Emeria's Call. Okay, according to Goldfish, Swamp is the 33rd most played land in the format. Still no idea. Let's play a Black Lotus then. Ooh. And a Cavern of Souls, naming Cleric. And we'll be mana inefficient for the sake of having threats in play. Okay. Good lord. There's just so many clicks to get you there, you know? And now cast an Emerald. And now it's over to you. So let's hope this White Plume is good, because I've got not much else. White Plume untaps. Opponent takes their second turn. Forbidden Orchard. Well, fuck. Thoughtseize me. Okay. Basic Swamp. In Oath. Ugh. Oh no, they Thoughtseize themselves. Oh, this is glorious. Okay, yeah, I've had a look. Sorry, everyone. So I get a token. Yeah. You cast Exhume. I cast Solitude. Pitching Chancellor of the Annex. Evoke. Target nothing. Okay. Oh no, my Solitude's dead. Think. Right, show me what you're working with. So the top 2, they always have. Great duress art though, that's great. It's like slightly wrong, but it's still perfect. So show game log, please. Atraxa resolves, you're on 25. They've revealed Atraxa, Lotus, Orchard, Entomb, Duress, Dark Ritual, Reanimate, Entomb, Duress, Dark Ritual, Reanimate, Entomb, Duress. Okay. So I imagine they'll take Lotus over Petal. Oh no, with Atraxa's abilities. They didn't reveal an Atraxa. They did reveal an Entomb. So they've got Entomb, Reanimate, Animate Dead this turn. Lotus. Lotus, Entomb, Reanimate. Lotus, Entomb. I can't do this. They can take Black Lotus. They can cast Entomb. They can cast Animate Dead. Yeah, that works. So they're still going to get an Atraxa. We're then going to lose, I imagine. And then post board, we get 4. No, we only get 3. 3 of those dudes that stop this from happening. Okay. Seasoned Dungeoneer, maybe one of our few outs. So yeah, so they Entomb for something. Is it Atraxa again? It's Grizzlebrand. What brand of Grizzle do you have for me? Show game log. Opponent chooses Entomb, Reanimate, Animate Dead, Black Lotus. Cool. I can't bother to remember that, we're already dead. It's not worth the little brain space that I have available. So Griselbrand draws him 7 cards. I can also draw a Solitude. Griselbrand draws some 7 more cards. As if I'm not just cold, right? Like, so Mox Jet, Dark Ritual, I imagine. Mox Jet, Dark Ritual, Yawgmoth Will, Lotus Ritual Tendrils. That would probably do something. Seeing as we're already 5, 6, 7 storm deep in the turn. My opponent can go lower. I'd be all for it. They did. They went to 4. Played a Petal. I know we're dead. We're just finding out what on earth they're doing over here. Dark Ritual. I do have the initiative though. Dark Ritual. I wonder what the Orchard's about. Unmask himself. Okay, so they do have Oaths. They do have a Time Walk. Yeah, alright. Let's go to the next one. Okay. So we've picked up a game loss. I imagine Solitudes, Plows, Containment Priests are all good. Law of the Third Path will eat a Oath of Druids, and Mindbreak Trap is a consideration. Maybe it's just like balls to the wall prison. So that's 65. This is like prison with no clock, so I don't like it very much. I'm not sure. I'm not sure if I have the brain power to do this on the fly. I think these can go actually. The Dismantlers can go, and a Chancellor, and then I get 2 adventurers back, 3 adventurers back. Seems like a lot of creature removal. So, turn 1, we have some stuff. So I've got just 4 mana on turn 1. Which means I can keep this. And I'm just going to go Plains, Mana Crypt, Thalia. Yeah, don't care about the Chrome Mox. So Thalia is going to tax them, so they hopefully aren't going to be as fast. Marsh Flats and pass. I'll name Tails. I win the flip. Cavern of Souls on Cleric. Crunch for 2. Post combat we'll play Anointed Peacekeeper. So Chain of Vapor, Chain of Vapor, Chain of Vapor, Entomb, Exhume, Time Walk. So we'll say OK, and we'll name Marsh Flats. Okay. And they can play their Bayou. That's fine. Mana Crypt flips. We lose the flip. Wasteland? Oh, yes. Pay me. I'll cast Chrome Mox here, I think. And I'll exile the Emeria's Call. And then we'll cast a White Plume Adventurer getting a Plains. And we will do our absolute best to not play the Plains this turn. If you're wondering why did I play the Chrome Mox, I've not got a reasonably acceptable answer for you at this point in time. So we get in, we've got the initiative. They go to 16, then they go to 13, then we go to our second main phase, and we wasteland their Bayou. We untap our Thalia. One, two, three, four, five. Yeah, maybe the Chrome Mox is fine, I don't know. There's no point in doing it though, right? There's no reason to do that. So I think on the draw I am extremely interested in these Mindbreak traps. Do I want them just over the Chancellors? Like this? I don't know. Because the thing is that they can play slowly, right? Maybe the solitary side of things is wrong. And I can just go like 3 trap, 3 Chancellor, 3 plow, 3 containment priest. What does this do when it's at home? It dies very quick. It dies hard to a good card early. It's also Chrome Mox is my only white. Turn 1 Archon though is pretty good. It's very slow. I kind of really wanted a Chancellor or a Mindbreak Trap, or I think I'm going to mulligan this. Right, so turn 2 Archon, but with a trap and a Wasteland. This seems better to me. I've got interaction for their Dark Ritual deck, right? I think the other hand just died too hard. So we'll bottom one of the Emerias, because Karakas is probably quite the player in this matchup as well. So Marsh Flats, fetches. Opponent mulligan to 6 in their 61 card deck. And they play Dark Ritual. And then they duress me. So I do have Karakas. And they do take the trap. Lotus as well. 2 cards in hand for the opponent here. 5 mana. Entomb. They've got to get Archon of Cruelty, right? Grizzlebrand. Okay. And then Exhume. So I've got no plays at the moment. They're going to draw about 20 cards. So Mox Emerald. Mox Sapphire. Have you found Walk? So we can take this solace in the fact that the other hand was equally as dead against this, even if the mulligan wasn't great. They go to 5. Float some mana. They've got 4 mana up now. And a time walk. So they found the walk. I'm going to make them put me to 0, I think. Because I've still got this Caracas. I know they can probably do something next turn as well, though. Because now they've got 11 cards in hand. 2 mana floating. Always brutal when you lose the trophy match to an off-meta deck. It's like I was doing so well against everyone else, and then here we are. Never mind, so it goes. We still got this Caracas, which we've got all of our hopes and dreams in at the moment. They're going to unmask me, get rid of a non-Caracas card. So get rid of the Archon. They reanimate the Archon. They're at 2. They walk into the next turn. I can't cast any more spells. I'm going to take a lump for 9. And then I'll take a lump for 9. And then I'll be dead. So yeah, this is the perfect 18, I think. So my Ancient Tomb's dead. They can reanimate an Atraxa actually. But yeah, no, that Archon, the Archon of Emeria play was sick actually. And they duress me as their 1 spell. Yeah, going back to the Archon of Emeria and making my Caracas tapped is kind of gross. So now I'm going to go to 2, and I won't. So I need to draw like Plough or Plains here to have any hope of winning this game. But obviously my opponent's drawn 30 cards, so basically impossible from this spot. There's a Thalia. That wasn't Plains or whatever else I said. So I'll play my Caracas. I'll pass to them. They'll 9 me. And now I need to draw Solitude. And for them to have somehow missed on a reanimate target. I go to 2. They go back up to 9. They draw their cards. Maybe you should cast Thoughtseize. I took out all my Solitudes, didn't I? They're all gone. Yeah, so we are just dead on board. They unmask me to make sure there's nothing that can go wrong. And we lose. So good games to the opponent. A 4-1 league, which is pretty cool. Pretty fun matches with Mono White. Yeah, thanks for watching. And I will see you for another video playing another deck. I can't imagine it's going to be another Mono White league. I'll tell you that for free. 20-1. That's done me. Right. Good luck to me at work tomorrow, and thanks for watching.